Alright, there we go. Alright, now I'm actually back. Lord. Let's do this again. This is E3, technically minus day 2. It's not technically E3 till the 11th. Basically, might as well be E3. But basically, minus day 1. Um, there's a bunch of titles, bunch of good ones. So, without further ado, I'm just going to tell you the titles. I have some notes. We're going to try to get through them as quickly as possible, but it's not a big deal. I wrote down the last remnant. I didn't write down what it was, but Final Fantasy fans are going to be happy because they get a remake of 7 with 2 special editions. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles is coming to PS4 and mobile. Final Fantasy VIII is getting a remake, and Final Fantasy Shadow Rangers, if I'm saying that right. So, good year for you if you love Final Fantasy. I believe a lot of these games are coming out next year, but there's been no confirmed release date. I think 7 was as quoted as next year. As for the others, I don't exactly know. Um, but I'm just going to go through with the rest of these games. Code and Vein. Um, I just wrote this down as a note, so I'm just going to say it so I don't have to forget about it. But Xbox, they said that their final titles that were backwards are in. I think there's about 12. It might be more, maybe 14 or more, might be 20. But let's see. There's original Xbox and Xbox 360 titles. If you were a fan of Surge, it was like a modern kind of day. Dark Souls per se, for the makers of Dark Souls. A lot of people love Dark Souls. If you love Surge, you definitely like the second one. Um, there's some new games here: Gods and Monsters. Division 2 is based on inside it. DC is going outside of DC. New game: World of Champions. Rainbow Six Quarantine. Uh, if I recall, that's supposed to be a three person team shooter. Circuit Superstars, a top-down racer. I know that I loved top-down racers back in the day, so I'm looking forward to that. Outriders, it's going to be a co-op shooter. Romancing Saga Scarlet, Grace Ambition. Um, okay, Romancing Saga 3 and then Saga Scarlet, Grace Ambition will head to the west. Um, no date on that so far. Let's see. I got through Final Fantasies. Watchdog Legion, Borderlands 3. Borderlands 3, you probably already knew it, but if you want to look up more, there's more information about it online. So make sure you look it up if you want to know more about it. Maneater, which looks kind of neat. It's about a shark. You basically have to eat to get bigger and grow. That's the interesting one. If you love the Zombie Army games, you'll love that there's a fourth one now announced. Vampire Masquerade Bloodlines 2, First Evil Genius 2. There'll be a team fight mode in League of Legends, if you're a big fan of League of Legends. Doom Eternal, which is a game I really was looking forward to, because I love Doom. So it's generally going to be. There's nothing new that I saw from the video, if I remember, but at least that it's got a solid release date, and they're saying that it's going to go more in depth about the Doom guy and who he is. But that's coming out the 22nd of November. So I am really, really looking forward to that. Orion was a game streaming service. I can't remember who it was. It might have been by Bethesda. I should keep better notes, but apparently it's going to help streaming. Deathloop is another game that looked kind of interesting. And besides Doom Eternal, Rage 2 was a game that I was really looking forward to. That already announced new weapons, enemies. I think they're called the Ghosts. You can combat mech now, combat the mechs, and there's some new vehicles, which I'd like to know when that comes out because I really enjoyed playing Rage 2. Cyberpunk 2077. You probably knew about that. It's another one you should look into. I'm going to look into it later, see what more it's about. But it features Keanu Reeves. Thriller is a time loop game that was announced. Crossfire was a shooter announced. State of Decay 2 will have an expansion. Look into that. New Xbox controller. It's an Elite. It looks awesome. The controller has a lot of tweaking to it. You can make the triggers and the sticks tighter. It looks like a sweet controller. It's got 40 hours of life, which is kind of nice considering that I use, my batteries, and they last, oh, I don't know how long they last, but I mean, you figure, maybe about that time, maybe less, but neat to know that you can charge it now, and it comes with a charge port instead of having to switch out batteries all the time like I do. But there's Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. It will be an action RPG, I guess, based off the first episodes, the elements that it had. Wasteland 3 will be coming to Xbox. Battletoads is getting a remaster. So I believe if that's not coming, I'm not sure exactly if that's multi-platform or not. But they also mentioned the Blair Witch game. Now, the most exciting news. If you haven't heard, Microsoft has announced a new video game console. For now, they're calling it the Scarlet. It's slated to come out holiday 2020, so next year. It's going to be game-centric. Originally, when they talked about it, didn't know, but it's going to have, Phil Spencer said it's going to be game-centric. He was listening to the gamers, and he said it's going to have a disk drive. So obviously that's a big deal for a lot of people. I mean, just number of people who don't have internet and whatnot. That's a whole different debate. I mean, you know, the whole thing when they announced the Xbox One and their whole attitude toward it. But it's going to be 4 times more powerful than the Xbox. It's going to rate 8K capability, which sounds interesting, since I didn't know, at the time it could run more than 4K. But you know what? It's more the merrier. It's going to run up to 100 FPS. It's going to have a solid state drive, which is supposed to make the Xbox faster. Assuming everyone knows that even the PS4 is slow when it comes to downloading sometimes, but I mean, especially the Xbox. I guess it's been known to take a while to download. It's my only real complaint about it, but I'm glad that they listened to that. And it's going to be the cloud, which people can game on the cloud, which will allow people to play on different devices. I mean, that's a neat concept. I like the idea of it, to be perfectly honest with you. I wonder if the cloud can do other things in the future, but for now, that's, I mean, it's good news. I guess, digital gaming becoming a thing. So, okay, well, that's it for this video, guys. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. I look forward to any comments anybody wants to say. And have a nice night.